You have just stepped into the midlife revolution, your space to ignite possibility, redefine purpose, and embrace the power that comes with age. Co-hosted by yours truly, Coach Wayne.
And I'm Coach Stacy M. Lewis. And we're two seasoned coaches focused on the midlife community of color. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. In a world that sometimes forgets the power and the wisdom that comes with age, we're here to ignite a revolution and rewrite the narrative of this incredible journey.
So, whether you're navigating career shifts, rediscovering passions, or challenging the status quo, this is your space. So buckle up. Let's dive into the midlife revolution. And we're here another Tuesday morning. It's July the 23rd. We're moving through the year. And Stacey, you told me not to rush it. So we're going to just keep it at July 23rd this morning, won't we? My name is Coach Wayne, and this is Midlife Revolution. I am your midlife coach, mid-career coach. I work with men of color to help them navigate through midlife so that they can be placed on the other side in an even stronger, greater, better position. And with me is the wonderful and amazing co-host, Coach Stacy M. Lewis. Good morning, Stacy.
Well, thank you for introducing me as wonderful and amazing. I can't really say that has been my introduction as of late, but I know who I can rely on when I'm looking for a great introduction. So as usual, Coach Wayne, it is so great to be with you. For those of you new to the Midlife Revolution and to me, I am Stacy M. Lewis. I am a nonprofit executive. Of course, you can always look up a great organization to contribute to. Just let me know. I'm also a health educator, and one of the deepest joys of my life is serving as a midlife women's coach. Certainly being in that age group helps me to celebrate it even more. And my heart's desire is to give every midlife woman the encouragement, the coaching, the tools and the strategies that she needs to really move through this season with grace, victory, and thrive. So, what's going on today, Coach Wayne? Good morning to Curtis. Good morning to George. Welcome to the Midlife Revolution. We too are looking forward to another insightful conversation, and we're so glad that our listening audience is tuned in, ready to rock and roll.
Stacey, see, my sleeves are rolled up because today we're going to go at it. We're punching the way through today, sharing some nuggets. And today, so much is happening in the landscape of the USA. We see a lot of the political climate is hot. We won't talk about politics, but it affects us all. Good morning.
I don't know. We might have to talk about politics, Wayne.
Yeah.
Good morning, Michael. We're talking about career mastery today, but I don't know, Wayne. It's a hot season in politics, especially being a person of color. But go ahead, where you want to go.
Well, here's what I have been noticing in my coaching business, Stacy. Several of the brothers that I've been working with are sharp brothers, and this is in the IT, the technology space, as well as in the financial space, the health services space. I mean, it's like inclusive across the board, have been displaced in terms of jobs. And what they have been sharing is that they are applying like crazy. Part of the things, I teach and we teach at VIP Transformative Living is you can't let the tarmac dry under your feet get dry. You have to just keep moving. And so we're telling people to send out resumes every day, lots of them, but don't just send them out randomly. Part of it is to kind of cultivate, and this is for another show, cultivate a strategy to make sure that you're hitting the industry in alignment. However, what we are hearing, Stacy, is that folks are getting ghosted by HR officials, by recruiters, by hiring personnel, it's happening all over. A lot of ghosting. And in terms of internal opportunities for promotions, a lot of brothers are missing the mark, not getting the call, and their lesser qualified counterparts are landing these jobs. So when we talk about career mastery, Stacy, today, how to position yourself in the workforce to show influence, we're talking about making an impact. We're going to talk about that today, Stacy.
Yeah, what I think is excellent about this topic, and I promise I'm just going to take over and say to our listening audience, we're going to spend the last 5 minutes talking about politics because I can't help it. Okay, so when I think about this idea of influence and impact in our career, I think that that's how we are created as people is with purpose, and we're here to make an impact. And to your point of ghosting and having people somewhat disheartened in this job pursuit experience, I think it's important that we look at ourselves and say, okay, what is the impact I'm here to make? And do I want just any job? Or do I want to really pursue something that is going to allow me or really open the door to make greater impact and to have greater influence? And I think, thinking about when we're not in the job search, but when we're on the job, it's also possible for us to get a little complacent or a little worn down, right, by that daily grind and by that environment that may not value us as we deserve to be valued. And that can sometimes cause us to show up in a way where we are not thinking about our influence, where we are not thinking about our potential impact. So I think whether you are in the job search lane or whether you are in a good space, maybe in your place of employment or on your 9 to 5, that there is still opportunity for impact and influence. And Wayne and I want to see all of our people get there.
Absolutely. Stacey, there are 3 broad categories, and we're going to narrow them down with some points. If we can get through them today, great. But we're going to certainly move quickly. But get your pens out or your instruments to record these pointers. We know that they are going to hit home. And the 3 categories, the groups are cultivating, innovation and creativity. That's one group with some sub-points, making yourself more visible. And number 3 is helping others. So, becoming that point person, the go-to person because of your availability to help others and willingness. So let's kick off with cultivating innovation and creativity. Stacey, the first thing we got to do in this climate is to continue learning. Never say you have gotten enough.
Critical. Learning about ourselves, learning about our career, learning about our area of the expertise, and learning about the other areas of expertise that influence or that intertwine with our area of work. You're absolutely right. We don't want to stop learning because we don't want to stop growing. And so pursuit of learning really fosters our ability to be creative, to be innovative, right? That when we think about influence, it is going to be that creative thinking, creative problem solving, creative ways of doing whatever it is that we're doing in ways that continue to have impact. So that whole cultivation of innovation and creativity and really continuing to position yourself as a learner is critical.
Yeah, we got some points coming up that, again, speaks to reinforcing what you're saying in terms of learning. And of course, we know today there's no excuse for not getting information. It's information overload and a board. So let's look at number 2, clarifying your priorities. And what I'm talking about here is simply what we call crafting your job. And you craft your job, meaning you're not going to say no to your boss. handing down work to do. But when you identify where your strengths are, again, it's important to know your personality and your strengths. You craft your job around that. And that, by the way, Stacy, not only means picking and choosing and delegating how you go to work and what you work on, but the time frame for when you are most productive, what you take on. That is key. Strategizing so that you can make an impact.
Yes, yes, yes. That whole knowing who you are, knowing how you show up professionally, knowing when your peak hours are professionally, and how you can really optimize that is indeed critical. Really thinking about, how can I take this assignment, this challenge, this charge, and pursue it in a way that incorporates that creativity, that incorporates the influence, and that allows me to use my skills and apply them in ways that people see.
Yes, ma'am. Number three, talking about being innovative, being creative. You can't wait for the plane to land. You got to land it. Sometimes you have to dig your own runway. And that means selling yourself, the ability to sell yourself. Listen, if you don't ask, oftentimes you don't get rewarded or seen. So sell yourself. Learn how to position yourself and present what you have to offer. And there comes the idea of selling, proposing.
Yeah, and selling yourself, I mean, I think that some give that a negative connotation. The reality is that you and your skills and talents have value. And when you go to work, whether it's your own business or working for a company or a mission, the reality is that you are exchanging your value for money, right? You are selling, you are offering, that's your value is part of the transaction, the money, the value. And so you really must promote and believe, of course, that you are really bringing the value to your workspace. And then you must really promote. You have to sell yourselves in ways that, of course, are in alignment with your values, but you must really position yourself. And even when you are in the company that you want to be in, even when you are on the job that you want to be on, you want to make sure that you are constantly positioning yourself as valuable, aka selling yourself in a way that that value is seen as worth the exchange of the dollar.
Okay. So this is worth a little bit more of our time, which means we'll abbreviate some of the other ones to make up. But this is so important. And by the way, I just saw that I lost apparently streaming connection on my Facebook. So I'm hoping that folks can catch the replay. Now, when we talk about selling yourself, have you ever heard of USP? In the business world, it means unique selling proposition. It's what makes you stand out over the competition, right? When you do your SWOT analysis, it's your point of advantage to the competitors that keeps you above the rest. In business, when you are talking about selling yourself, your USP is important. Your unique selling proposition or your unique selling points or positioning. It's your zone of genius, folk. We've been talking about this. It's where you excel, where you do your best work. It's almost where time lapses and you don't even feel any pain. You're just making it happen. When you are in that space and you know where it is, Stacy, when we talk about selling yourself, this is part of what makes you stand out so that you can be outstanding in your interviews and in your impact statement to folks. We'll talk about that, right? Stacy, an impact statement is simply more than just writing your objectives. I think we covered this very early on in one of our sessions. Right? Your impact statement is, how do you personally fill the gaps and solve problems for the position or role that you're about to undertake? Remind yourself of all the accomplishments you have had and where you shine, and be able to transfer those skills, those impacts, into your new role or intended role. You are a problem solver, and that is what matters. They don't care about this is a good job for you and it serves your purpose. Now, how do you impact them?
Right. It is about your impact to improve positively somebody's bottom line, right? So whether it's your own business, whether it is in the nonprofit sector, we often refer to having your own mission statement, right? And that is really just another way of saying, really, writing down your mission statement, writing down your value proposition, as you're saying, in a way that reminds you of who you are and the value that you have to bring to where you are. Because I think it's very easy for us to forget in this season. Like we said, there's so much going on externally. Then you get to the job or you start your day on your own business, and it's a whirlwind, and we often forget the value that we bring. We often forget our why, and we often forget that we really have something to contribute that is unique when compared to other people. So while there may be a number of coaches, no one else is Coach Wayne and no one else is Coach Stacy, because each of us have our own unique value proposition. And so whether you position it, writing it down as a value proposition or a mission statement, it is about reminding yourself the value that you have to bring to your place of employment or to your business. And this is how you get it done.
Yeah. Stacey, what makes me stand up is I'm an expert in mid-career, midlife transitions. And, I work with a lot of brothers who are younger than midlife, but they're making sure that they are positioned properly by the time they get there, right? So it's still applicable. The VIP signature program, that's what makes me stand out. That is my impact. That's what I sell. And you've got to find your place, your sweet spot, your zone of genius, and tally those up to create the impact that people need so that they can see the value. Moving on, taking risk. Stacy, if you're not a risk taker, hey, you're going to just be ordinary like everybody else. You've got to take the risk.
I don't know that I agree with you, but I think that when you're not a risk taker, you have to identify why that is, right? And as a coach, I'm sure that even for men, I know for women, it is really understanding, why is it that you don't want to take the risk? What is it that either concerns you or you feel that you will risk? What is the fear? What is the real concern about taking the risk? Because risk happens every day. You take a risk when you drive your car. You take a risk when you hop on the airplane. We take a risk when we sit in a chair that may not be very stable. We take a risk every day. And so to your point, I think that it's not simply assessing yourself to say, am I a risk taker or am I not? It is saying, why am I risk averse if I'm risk averse? And in this situation, whether it, how I'm looking to make greater impact on my job, how can I identify the value of taking the risk so that I can make greater impact? because I think, risk, everybody's different, even when we talk about investing, like what is your risk profile? How risk averse are you? How risky are you when it comes to investing? And it's the same with making your impact in your career. What risk are you willing to take? How risk averse are you? Why are you concerned about taking certain risks? We're not saying go out there and, just do things willy-nilly, but it is really taking and learning how to take strategic risk to move yourself forward, to make greater impact.
Stacey, you can listen real fast because I'm going to talk real fast since we're 10 minutes to go and we wanted to touch on some politics and we have a lot of points left. So I'm going to talk real fast and listen, look at what I'm doing here, Stacey. Did you see that magic? Did you see that magic?
That was like magic.
And I did it appropriately because the second category is making yourself visible. Hey, making yourself visible. What are we talking about? We mean participate in meetings. Don't just be a fly on the wall. Yeah. And at the same time, you don't want to go in there and overtalk yourself, especially with stuff you're not informed about. Sometimes the better way to participate is to keenly listen so you can gather information and then just drop nuggets as needed, right? So participate in meetings, Stacy, and making yourself visible. We have a few points on that. What do you want to say, Stacy?
Okay, clearly we got to talk fast. So I would just say visibility is important, and many women struggle with invisibility, with that hiding, with that stepping back. And it is critical that even if your participation in a meeting is asking a key question, that making your voice heard, making your presence known is valuable.
Yeah, and there are more, but we're just saying that's one. The other one that comes to mind is choosing what resonates with you in terms of assignments. And how do you do that? For example, volunteer. Volunteer to do something that perhaps no one else wants to do, or that gives you a leg up because it resembles the position that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think it is pursuing opportunities that may not be on your job description or may not be immediately top of mind. And I know that we're all busy in our daily lives, but it is that opportunity or seizing that opportunity to say, hey, I can take that on in a way that allows you to shine. Ties directly with invisibility or being visible. So picking it up. Okay, go Wayne.
Yeah, man. Network rigorously and strategically. It speaks for itself, but you got to know you can't do it alone. That idea of pulling yourself up by the bootstrap doesn't work for us fellas or sisters. There is nothing about the solo entrepreneur or employee. You need a team.
Yeah. Even in entrepreneurship, you really need community. We as humans thrive in community. Even the introverts thrive in a level of community. And so really showing yourself not only as someone that might need assistance, but as a team player is always going to be critical. Right. Yeah. The midlife revolution would not be the midlife revolution without Stacy and Wayne. Or Wayne and Stacy, right? So it is that like, hey, what do you think about this? How can we move forward together, really helping and supporting each other in ways that have greater impact to those we serve?
Stacy, let the world know. I gotta let the world know that I need you on this show here, Stacy, because sometimes something as simple as the dates I get wrong. Yeah, I don't know about that. Gotta take my vitamins.
Well, I need you too, Wayne. I need you too, and I appreciate your bride for her willingness to share.
Yeah. I hope she's on. I'm not sure. And then there is managing our online presence. Yeah. Hey, in this world today, there's some folks who are still saying that they don't have any online presence or accounts, and I don't know what rocks they've been under, but even if you go to the store today, you'll realize that brick and mortar is getting less and less. So it's more click and order, right? People are beginning to do their online stuff. And so if you don't have an online presence, an e-card, for example, just ways of having the rest of the world know that you're around, you're going to get missing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the question again is why? Why don't you have an online presence? And if it's working for you, right? If not having an online presence is working for you, then work it. Work your show. Do your thing. If not, showing up and connecting with other people and seeing how you can add value to their lives and how they can add value to yours. If that's working, if it whatever works for you. So we're not here to judge. We're here to support, encourage, and coach. And so our belief is that you need to if you want to master your career, if you want to increase your workplace influence, you need to look at your social presence, because trust and believe that as you show up demonstrating greater impact, others are watching. Others see you. Others in other companies, others in the social networks, they see you. They see the impact you're making. They see the influence that you have. And you never know what opportunities might open up because they see you. Hey, Janelle, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're awesome too, Janelle. And that means go back on your sites and remove those photos of you and Pookie taking shots and throwing up on each other. Take those down. Now,
you got shots with Pookie? Do you know Pookie?
Yeah, we got to keep it real.
Okay, so let's just talk 30 seconds to our younger generations who believe that there's no impact in taking pictures. And I love my nieces dearly, trust and believe, but they believe in their 20s that there's no impact of taking pictures and posting them socially with their middle finger up. And I think that we, as more mature people, have opportunity. I said to my niece recently, I love you. I want to respond to your post on Instagram, but every time I open up your Instagram account, I feel like you're flipping me the bird because that's what your picture does. So this, and as she finishes college, I'm saying to her that when you go apply for a job, if you come to my organization, I'm looking at your Instagram account. I'm looking at your Facebook account. I'm looking especially at your LinkedIn account. And so it all matters. Our social presence matters. We're not saying you have to post every day. We're not saying you have to have, a bamillion followers. But what we are saying is that if you want workplace influence and impact, you have to show up physically, professionally, and socially.
Yep. And we got to wind up, Stacy. But in winding up, the last category was helping others. And listen, folks, don't feel any way about us kind of rushing through this. You have access to Coach Wayne and Coach Stacy. Send us a DM or connect with us at the end of this broadcast. You'll stay on long enough. You'll see our links everywhere. Reach out and let us see if we're a good fit. We can get you to where you want to be. So now, helping others, Stacy, we can do this through referrals, through just mentoring. We can do this through delegation, right? So there are many ways to have impact by being connected and helping others.
Yes, help. You can do it through showing someone else how to do what it is you do so well. You can do it through, having a conversation that is really one that is listening and encouraging. There are many ways to do it. So now, to our Midlife Revolution audience, do you all see how Wayne was really trying to get those nuggets in because he did not want to talk about politics? But yes, I was on the call, with the other 40,000, 44,000 Black women. And I just want to say it is such a beautiful time to be a person of color, to be a Black person. And we have to get involved. We have to be involved. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I am saying that this is a time for
You're
us
saying who not
really
to vote for.
I'm not doing it. I'm not telling you who to vote for. You know, I do work in the nonprofit sector. We don't, we don't get involved in that kind of stuff. But I will say that it is also an important time to really encourage each other, because there will be times that we as a people, or as people of color, are under attack. So encourage each other, really show that friendship, that brotherhood, that sisterhood, to not only increase our workplace influence and impact, but to increase our community influence and impact. So I just had to get that in, since Wayne took my 5 minutes that I wanted to
I
talk
love
about
that you did,
politics.
Stacey, because with the outro today, one thing that I definitely want to let people know: renew your passports. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Thank you for being part of the Midlife Revolution.
Thanks, y'all. Have a beautiful day.
And there you have it, folks. This week's episode of the Midlife Revolution. Hey, we truly appreciate you spending this time in this space with us. Join us next week at the same time as we dive into relevant topics and present solutions to spark new thinking and empower your midlife journey.
Don't forget, if today's episode resonated with you, share your thoughts and suggest topics in the comments. And of course, remember to subscribe, share, like, and hit that notification bell. You are the Midlife Revolution. I'm Coach Stacy, and I'm cheering you on.
And I'm Coach Wayne, and I'll see you at the top.